Hello everyone, welcome to another Thursday morning of live crafting. Let me get myself organized. I'll head over to my chat feed. Oh, I see something occurred. Good morning everyone, just ignore me. My name is Alisa Tilsner. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia and I come crafting live with you every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. South Australian time, just so that you don't get mixed up. Hopefully you can work out the times in your own zones. So and today is the 3rd of March. I'm getting I feel like I'm later in the month than what I actually am, and it's only the 3rd of the month. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Carrie and Lois. Everyone's here to join me. So we are going to be casing the I was going to say Stampin' Up catalogue, but it's not actually in a catalogue. It's a pre-release from the next annual catalogue. And I have the stamp set and bundle. There are a few other items that come in the collection, so I will show you. So just going through our usual bits and pieces before we start. My blog address is here. So if you race over there, perhaps after you've watched me, you can sign up to my newsletter and you will get the instructions. I send out a free weekly PDF tutorial each Friday morning, and it's usually the card that we've made today with all the written instructions. I don't give measurements in my live, but the measurements will all be in the PDF so that you can follow along. They are in inches and in centimeters, so I can tailor to all markets. So, and they will fit in both of our envelopes. Our envelopes are actually different sizes, so they will fit in all the different envelopes that we have. Being that March is a brand new month, and it's only the 3rd, it's not any further along, I have a brand new host code. So when you spend a minimum of $75 with me, I will be sending you out the Waves of the Ocean rhinestones. Now, I don't have these at the moment. They are coming to me, so hopefully, but they I will have them soon. But they are just gorgeous. Those colors look stunning, so they are really pretty. So that is my, now what happens with this is that when you place an order with the code, it actually accumulates all the orders, and then we reach the Stampin' Rewards, and I'm able to purchase your gifts from the Stampin' Rewards. So they sort of come from both Stampin' Up and myself. So so that is that. Now my next class by mail, oops, I've hidden the wrong, there we go. I don't know what happened there. My next class by mail is going to be out on the 10th. I don't know, I may be able to get it out a little bit earlier, so you never know. But we will be featuring the Crane of Fortune and the Symbols of Fortune Designer Series paper. So keep an eye out for this. I have already created a couple of the cards, and I am loving them. I'm really liking the bit more subtle color tones in this one. We've done the last couple of classes we've done have been really, really bright. So it's nice to sort of tone down and be a little bit more serene, I guess you could say. So that will be out. There are 3 options. So I have one with a whole bundle, one if you already have the bundle yourself, and then one is just the PDF instructions that you can purchase as well. So celebration is still going if you are in Australia and if you are in New Zealand. So they are still going on at the moment. So you still have time to earn any of the free items that you want when you purchase $90 or $180. We have 2 levels. And you can still join Stampin' Up and get 2 free stamp sets in your starter kit. Starter kit's only $169 and you get $235 worth of product. Plus you'll get 2 new stamp sets. The mini cut and emboss machine, which we'll actually use today, is 20% discount at the moment, along with compatible bundles. So if you pop them into your starter kit at 20% discount, your $169 is going to go a whole lot further because these items are on discount. So that is really cool. Okay, we're getting closer to switching to make our card. I just want to say the one that we are using today is called The Waves of the Ocean. It is brand new. Now, the bundle and the stamp set that I'm using today are going to be from the next annual catalogue. But these two items, which I don't have just yet, they are winging their way to me, is the Designer Series paper and also the rhinestones. These two items are only while stocks last. So once these ones are gone, they are gone. So they are coming to me hopefully early next week. So that will be rather exciting. When I get them, I'll be able to show them to you. We've only just got them. They were supposed to be here in the middle of February and we didn't get them. And then they said that they were going to be on the 7th of March. And then on the 1st of March, they were there. So it was like, yay, very exciting. Good morning to everyone else who has jumped in while I have been talking. Oh, and that's right. And the foils. We have foil as well. And I have not got mine out. But the foils are not going to be in the new catalogue. Just the stamp set and the dies. So the paper, the foils come in Night of Navy, Coastal Cabana and Silver, and they are divine. I wish I had remembered to get them out. I've put them away, but they will not be in the new catalogue either. Whew. Okay, I think I have said everything. I'm pretty sure. Let's get set up so we can. I need to flick you into there, and then I need to make you bigger. So this is a card that was designed by Stampin' Up. And I really like it. And I thought, why don't we case this? I was running a little bit short on what to, my week sort of last week ended pretty quick. And then this week sort of has disappeared really quick. My husband has been away for half the month of February. So he came back and, of course, getting everything readjusted and reorganized and getting his stuff sorted out. And anyway, I didn't have time, so I thought let's case the Stampin' Up flyer. There's where they've got their samples to show the new stamp set. So that is what we're going to do. Now, they gave to us a little recipe, but the recipe didn't actually have everything on it. So I'm assuming that I have done the right things. So this is the stamp set, and this is just gorgeous. And because I live right by the ocean, like the ocean is basically across the road from me, you know, fall in love with this. And also the matching dies that go with it. And so some of the dies will cut out and some of them are standalones. So we've got one to cut out the pequian. That's what my boys used to call it, a pequian. We've got a couple of frames here which will cut out the sentiments. Probably not that one, but they will cut out some of these sentiments. We have got two independent waves going on. Oh, I should bring that into your camera view, shouldn't I? Two independent waves that will layer over the top but not identical. So a lot of people have been cutting from the foil and popping that over the top there. And then we've got some clouds, and apparently I haven't tried it yet, but maybe we'll do it today afterwards. I didn't know what these ones here were, but I was watching the video that I actually sent out in my newsletter on Tuesday or Monday, whatever day it was, that you could pop more detail into the clouds. So I'm having a feeling that when you cut these ones out, there is a little bit of embossing that goes on, but I have a feeling that you might be able to pop these back into it and add a little bit more enhancement to it. So maybe we can try that at the end of our card. So that's what we have. I'm going to pop them. I've already got all of my stamps all set up, I hope, I do believe. So we are working on a base of Granny Apple Green, which of course is one of my favorite greens because it's nice and bright, especially when you put it with Coastal Cabana. So I have already scored that. Just need to finish it. I'm just going to jump up and shut my door, okay? Husband has just come home for a moment. Okay, so get you out of the way without throwing you. Now I'm going to cut out this shape here, and I do believe I should be able to fit it through my mini. So this is the little mini, and he's on special. He is on special for 20% discount at the moment. So if you are you know, going to somebody else's house to do a little bit of crafting and you want to take your die cutting machine but you don't want to take the big one, this one is just perfect. Now, of course, being smaller, not all of the dies will go through it. So if you are traveling, just check to make sure that you can fit your dies in it. But the measuring plate, you have just under 9 centimeters. So it's about 3.5 inches. So any of your dies that are smaller than 3.5 inches, you can fit in there, which is this one. So I'm just going to pop this one on. I will try and line it up nicely. And another little tip when you're using these is to, because it is like a different mechanism and we have one less plate than the big machine, it's easier, and I know this is going to be crooked, so it doesn't, I'm just going to chuck it on. It's best to stagger your plates a little bit, and then that helps the rollers grab and feed through. So you can see how tiny it is. He does wobble around a little bit because he's a little bit lighter. Okay, how gorgeous is this? Let me get all my scraps out of the way. So this is super fine, and I was thinking earlier I perhaps should have used some of the adhesive sheets that we have. That would have been really handy, but of course I didn't get organized, so I will be gluing mine down. Okay, we might, I was going to say we should get all our die cutting done first, but I have not done my stamping. The pelican is real. I think that's what attracted to me, attracted the stamp set, me to the stamp set, was the pelican. Think. Okay, so I've got that. While I'm here, I'm just going to do 2 of these. I just need some scrap white. I'm just going to do 2 of these little clouds while I'm here. So hopefully you can, I'm just going to bring that up. I don't know whether you can see, but there's a tiny, tiny little bit of embossing that comes through, just ever so tiny around the edge there. So I'm going to do 2 of them. Flinging them around, and I do need to die cut my pelican, so I'm not going to put that too far away. Let's get the pelican done. So I'm going to stamp him in Night of Navy, and I often like casing Stampin' Up images, because cards and stuff, because they actually are different to the type of cards that I would make. So it's good to put myself out of there. Like I would perhaps not use so many colors, or I would use I sort of tie mine in so they're a little bit more matchy-matchy, but I noticed that sometimes Stampin' Up don't do that, and it's quite refreshing to do different things sometimes. Okay, I'm going to have to line this one up. And of course, I get ink all over me. Okay, I'm just going to bend that. It's been through my roller a few times, so just going to try and get that nice and even. Don't have to wiggle him around too much. Good morning, Leslie. Your bundle is in picking. Exciting. And I have a feeling that may have slipped a little bit. Not too bad. I usually just, if it's too bad, then I usually just go and trim a little bit up. Okay. Get them back in. Pop you guys away. I think I've got everything that needs to be die cut done now. Right. Put these guys away, see, and then you just fold him up and he's ready to go away. Normally he just lives, I'm just going to put him on the floor at the moment, but he just lives like right beside me on my desk, not too far away. Okay, we are going to, I've got all my bits and pieces. Let me just keep all of them together. Right, on our panel here, we're going to use the big wave that we have here, but I don't want the breaking part of the wave. I just want to keep it on the flat side. So I'm going to first ink up in Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to try and avoid that. You can put something over it to cover it if you want, or if you can just gently ink that up. And you probably want to go a couple of inches in, but you see I can still manage to get up the curve here and not hit that breaking wave part. Okay, so make it nice and inky. That's good because with the ink pad you can get real close. Okay, and then coming in with the Pacific Point, and we have to be careful with this one because I do get ink everywhere. And I've got a sponge dauber which is falling apart, so I'm going to have to be really careful that I don't get bits everywhere. So I'm just going to dab into my Pacific Point and then just do a little bit of pouncing on my image here, not too much. I'm going to bring the stamp up to my face. You won't be able to see this, and I'm going to huff on my stamp, which you will hear. So basically just because the moisture that is in your breath will re-wet my ink and make it stamp nicely again. So you'll hear me doing that, but you won't see me doing it. Just re-wets it a little bit. Okay, and now I fogged up my I fogged up my block. So hopefully my head won't come in, but I'm just going to stamp that down the bottom. I will probably have a little bit of a gap, I dare say, and I'm just going to trim. If there is a gap, I will just trim that off. So I'm just going to stamp that down, and then I get, just make sure my fingers are clean. I get that pretty different shades of in the ocean, which is really pretty, I think. So I will trim that off slightly because I want my card to, we're all squeaky. I don't know why. The first time I use it is always squeaky. So I'm just going to trim that off. If I can see, my eyes get a little bit blurry. Try, and I know my fingers are a little bit groggy. Now I did this next part that I'm going to do, I did mine in yellow, but the sample, it looks a little bit orangey, like a sunrisey sunset type thing. So I'm just going to clean off all my blue. And it's very pretty, isn't it? I love the colours in it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a sticky note. So I'm going to use pale papaya for this next bit. So I'm just going to grab a sticky. And so I did use yellow in my sample, but I'm just going to ink that up. And now the reason why I'm going to stick it up the top. The reason why I'm doing it in pale papaya, the same color as that I'm going to be ink blending in, is because I did my first one in one of the blues, and but then when I did some ink blending, it turned it a little bit green because I did yellow. Okay, so we just want to make a quick mask out of that, and we're going to line that up, find where it is, and we're just going to pop that down there. All right, I can get you out of the way. Okay, I've got a blending brush, and I'm just going to turn that on the side. I always find it easier to go from the side. So just in my pale papaya, and I'm going to make it fairly heavy down near where my ocean is. And then I'm going to fade it out as I go up. This blending brush isn't as loaded as my yellow one was. I didn't even have to dip my yellow one in when I was making it yesterday. So, and then just blend that up. I always find blending nice and relaxing. It's like colouring. Okay, I've got a bit of a line going on there. I'll try and get rid of that so I've got a bit more. Oops, I perhaps shouldn't dip it in if I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay, I think that will be fine. Okay, so I can take my mask off now, and hopefully I will have a nice sunset or sunrise going on. Okay, so there's one more thing that we need to do, and then we can actually start assembling. So it's not a real intense card. So they have used, they've both gone through the machine. I've got a little bit of texture going on. Okay, so Calypso Coral, which will actually blend in really nicely with the pale papaya as well. So there's two sentiments in this set that are really sweet. So your strength is an inspiration, and you're so totally awesome. So we need both of them, and we're just going to use parts of them. Oops. I'm just going to trim these. Cut them in half so it's easier. So we need your totally. So I'll cut the totally part first. Okay, and we need your so. Now you could probably do these with scissors if you want. I'm not so great with scissors. I will tend to cut super crooked. So you're so totally, and then we want an inspiration. Good evening from the Netherlands. Okay, and just trim that up a little bit. Rightio. I mean, I like a thin sentiment, but this was getting a little bit fiddly. But it's probably worth it. Okay, so with the totally, we're going to cut that on an angle that way, and then I'm going to make sure that my angle is the same on that way. Okay, I think we have everything we need. It's just a tiny bit of stamping left to do. So we are going to adhere this straight to our card base, sort of gives like that faux embossed look. So I am just going to use a naughty pen, a naughty glue. If I had used the adhesive sheets, if I'd thought about it, they would have been perfect for this. You just peel the backing off, and then you've got like a sticker. Oops, I've got an extra piece in there that doesn't need to be in there. Okay, pop some down here so that it sticks. And of course, there's always the risk of making a nice mess, which I actually did yesterday, but thankfully I was able to colour it over. Cover it with my main image. Right, so I'm just going to put a block on that to hold it all in place as it dries. Now I do need to do a tiny little bit more stamping on this one, so I'm just going to pop him where he would possibly sit, and I'm going to grab my Night of Navy again. Hi Karen, great to have you join us again. All right, and then I'm going to stamp 2 of these little flying birds. I have noticed that on my particular stamp set I do have a little bit of shadowing if I dip it to it, like I get the ghosting, so just try real carefully to ink up gently. Whoops, I've got a little bit of buffering or something going on with my, hopefully it doesn't hang around too long. Okay, now I've done everything. This one should be dry, so I'm just going to trim any overhang and hope that it's straight, but being that it's only background interest, it probably doesn't matter too much. Okay, so I'm going to stick my little panel on here. And this is the other thing I love about casing, is because, you know, I don't normally, wouldn't normally do this, like put this sort of thing down in the background and then have such a small panel, and so it's quite fun to do. Okay, so we're going to pop that down. I should be using my grid paper so that I know that it's all straight. Okay, pop him down, and then one of these clouds, just going to pop a bit of adhesive on and pop him down. Make sure I've got him, because I want him behind the penguin. Okay, now the rest of it goes on with dimensionals. So I do have to cut some super thin dimensionals there, and when I can find my dimensionals, they're hiding. Okay, so I'll pop a few on these. Oops, and I've run out of my minis. I have to get a new one out, but I like to, of course, use all the edges before I do that. So this one can go down. And we'll pop him to the right, down a little bit, so like he's coming out of the water and over the cloud. Okay, and then we'll pop another cloud. And we'll put him over here. And then, of course, our sentiment. So I need some super thin strips. It is quick to do. I was surprised when I was putting it together how quick it actually was. And it's got a lot of interest in it as well. Like there's a lot of little details in there that this bit here is probably taking me the longest. Okay. Okay, so I need your Sue first. And we'll pop you there. Totally. Make sure I can get them straight. Normally you're leaning right over your own work, not with a camera above you. And an inspiration. You are so totally an inspiration. Now, as I don't have, and I forgot it, I have to get it out. I have not got the rhinestones yet. They are still coming. So I'm going to do my own rhinestones. So I've got a Bermuda Bay blends here, because we don't have Coastal Cabana, but I think the blends will match quite nicely. No, I wouldn't normally make a card like this either. And I think when you see things in on paper as samples that somebody else has done, you don't really appreciate them fully until you've actually made it and can see it in 3D. So it is quite different. Now I want 5 of these, so I'm going to color in a big one and a medium one, and I want 1, 2, 3. Be careful when you do that, because it does tend to make your blends tip a bit on the fluffy side, which is why I don't color with that brush tip. I color with the bold one. So they don't take very long to dry. But we want to pop. I've put these down a little bit lower than my sentiment's a bit lower than on my first card, so I have to change these around. So I want a big one and a small one, and then a medium one over here, and then 2 little ones over here. And I should be careful doing that, because if they are a little bit wet, then I will get ink on my fingers. So how cool is that? Now I'll bring in my other one, because I did change that one to Pale Papaya, and my first one was Daffodil Delight. So I will bring that one in so you can see the difference. So I actually quite like the one with a bit of an orange. I'll show you. I have a feeling that they may have even used like a mango melody, maybe. Sort of a little bit orangey, a little bit yellow. So, but they didn't list it. These are what they did list, or they didn't even list the Granny Apple Green. They didn't even list any cardstock. So that was a guess. Obviously, it's Granny Apple Green. But they did list a couple of the ink pads. And then, of course, when you're making it, you're like, hang on a minute, there's another colour there. So I think they both look, you could use either. They both work out really nicely with the Calypso Coral as well. The Pale Papaya one's your favourite, Leslie, so that's cool. Today's one's better. Lois likes that one better as well. I've got, I was writing up my instructions while I was waiting for my for the 10 o'clock to come around, so I might have to take another photo and pop this one in as an alternative in my instructions as well. So these are, just recapping, these are brand new. So the Waves of Inspiration and the Waves dies are going to be, oh, just hang on, bear with me for 2 seconds. If you want to leave, you can, but I'm going to try that, see what happens with those clouds. So these are going to be from the annual catalogue, which goes live in May. So this is a really early release, but let me come back to this one. The paper, which I don't have, and the rhinestones, which I don't have, and the foils that we have as well, are only while stocks last. So you will want to grab them. I have a feeling that that paper isn't going to stick around for too long. I was going to do my March class with them, but of course they didn't come in time for me to design, and I'm not sure whether they'll still be around in April. So might have to just make lots of cards with them to show you instead. So if you want to hang around a bit, let's have a look at that cloud die and see. Let's get rid of that for starters so that you can actually see me. Let's have a look at that cloud die and see whether those two do actually line up, because I'm not 100% sure, and they didn't actually show it in the Stampin' Up video. Maybe I'll do the big one so that we've got a bit more view going on. So I'll just die cut that one quickly and we'll see what happens. Orange one's the winner today. The Pale Papaya. You could probably even go really, really gently with the Calypso Coral if you wanted to keep it all tied in together. So let's die cut this big one and see what happens. All right. So there will be a little bit of its own embossing because it's got these little embossing marks in it, which I can use to stick my fingernail in and pop out the card. Okay, so I'll bring that up and you can see ever so slightly. It's just got a couple of little bits of emboss marks in there. Now, I don't know whether this is true or not because I haven't tried. So this little piece here, I don't actually know what it does. So I don't know whether, oh, it does line up. Okay, it lines up. Let's hope I can keep it lined up. I think I've slipped just a smidge. All right. So it might cut a few more shapes. Yeah, I didn't know what they were for either, so we'll soon find out. Ready? Ready for the big reveal? Oh. I know what you're supposed to do. You take that part there. Hang on a second. Let me grab. Hang on 2 seconds. Okay, I've got some grey here. Right. Chuck that on the floor. Let's do this one again. Maybe it goes like this. Because I don't think I've seen any samples. I'll have to go back and look at them harder, closer. All right. Maybe, just maybe, we line up a grey cloud with a little bit of white on the bottom. Maybe we do that. I'll stick them together so that we can actually see. So you could have like a pale blue cloud or extra embellishment to go on top. Do you put it on top of the white or do you put it on top of the... Has anybody actually used it? There you go. Little fiddlies. See, this would be good as a sticker as well. There we go. So we stick that on top. I see. So we stick it on top of that. And that becomes, well, I don't know. You probably stick it white on white, I would say. I don't know. Or I guess you could do grey on white, maybe. Maybe that would look better if it had grey on top of white. I've probably reversed it around the wrong way. But that must be something what you do with it. I don't know. I'll have to have a little bit of a play and I'll take some photos if I figure it out properly. But it obviously layers one on top of the other for a little bit of extra dimension, like Carol says. So fun. White cloud and then grey. Do you want me to do it now? Shall I keep playing? If you don't mind, it doesn't worry me. I'll keep playing. I need you and I need you. And I've got extra white. Okay, let's do it that way. Ugh. Playtime's good sometimes. Get some grey. I think it probably would look better that way. And I can probably cut them both out at the same time. So we'll go for a grey bottom. Yes, grey bottom and a white cloud. That's what we're doing, isn't it? All right, where's my top? Let's see. Oh, I'm a little bit wonky this morning. All right. This is probably going to be better. That's probably back to front. Oh, that was close too. Oops, I munted it. All right, let's see what we get this way. Okay. All right, just a couple of dots. And there we go. How's that? Does that look any better? It's just the stamps and the dies that are carrying over. Everything else is while stocks last. So how's that? Is that better? Yay! Much better than that one. That one doesn't make sense, does it? Although I suppose you could always put two together and it'd be really cloudy. I don't know. But I think that's definitely the way to go about it. Now we've got some stormy thunder clouds, which is actually what we've got at the moment. It's weird weather here at the moment. It feels like it wants to rain, but it's not going to. So storm clouds, yay! Finally got it. Now that's what we know. You could do blue. Yes, you could. You could do, oh, I wish we had the sea, what was it called? We talked about it last week, Seaside Spray. That'd look really good on it, just for a little bit of light purplish color. So that is awesome. Okay, now we can finish. You could turn that into a stormy day. There you go. That's what it would. Oh, see, now look, that looks really good when you look at it from a bit of a distance. That's definitely how it's supposed to be. I'm good. I'm glad we played with that, because I probably would not have used them. I would have just left them there, and that would have been it. You've seen, Janice has seen the small piece on top of the sea as waves. Oh, that's interesting as well. So I guess there's a few different things that you can do with it, but they definitely line up on the clouds. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me today. I've probably taken up a little bit more of your time than usual, but it's good to have a little playtime sometimes, isn't it? To find out exactly what I know. I don't. Do you know what, Lenny? It's because I didn't get the foils out of my cupboard. I completely forgot about them. So, and then I completely forgot about them to put on my graphic as well. So just the stamp set and the dies are carrying over. Everything else, paper, foils and rhinestones, will all be while stocks last. So, and I have a feeling that I shouldn't talk it into it, because, you know, I might be able to get a class done in April, but I'm a little bit unsure whether I will or not. But they are available at the moment. So they are so pretty. I've got mine coming. I ordered mine as soon as I saw them there on the 1st of March, early in the morning. I was like, right, that's it. I've got to get them straight away. So they are on their way. But it usually takes about 10 days to get my orders, so I have to wait. I have to be patient. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again next Thursday. Do not forget to head over to I'm going to find my graphic. Don't forget to head over to my blog, sign up for my newsletter, and you will get the instructions, the handwritten instructions, plus the measurements. I actually quite like that sitting there now. Plus the measurements of these cards, and every one after that. So every Friday you'll get a new PDF tutorial, as well as any of the offers I've got going. So when it comes time for my March class by mail, you'll be able to find out how to go about signing up for that as well. Okay, thank you very much. I wonder if I can get myself back in. Wait a minute, I've got to hide that. I'm still learning. I keep forgetting to hide things and all that sort of stuff. So thank you very much for watching. My straps are showing. I've lost the elastic in the top of my top, and it doesn't hug me properly anymore, and I keep showing my straps. Anyway, I'm going to leave on that note. Bye. Have a good weekend, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.